Thanks everyone for joining me for another episode of the Travel Collective, where I share unique things to do, new places to go, and special tour operators that are one of a kind and people that are passionate about what they do. So today I'm excited to have a conversation with Jan of Zen Wine Tours. So welcome, Jan.
Thank you so much, April, for having me today.
Sure. So tell us what inspired you to start your business. Take us kind of to the beginning of it. A little bit about that.
Gosh, the beginnings, I would have to go far back into my teenage years, actually. Well, I was born in Germany, but I was raised in Ecuador in South America, and my parents had the chance to buy a little property out in the Galapagos Islands. And so when I was 15, 16 years old, I was running around this little hotel, 25 rooms or so. The older I got, the more I started to help, and I was able to, well, meet a lot of people from all over the world and well, show them around and tell them what to do in the Galapagos and just give them advice and learn about their culture as well. So that is the where it all started. And then I studied hospitality in Germany and helped a little bit with the family business. And when I moved here to the US in 2012, I believe it was, my wife is fairly local here. She's here from the Bay Area. We relatively quickly moved up to the Napa Valley. I worked at a couple of wineries along the way, as I had worked at hotels before and restaurant and bars, but never at wineries. So it was a great new exciting chapter. Started working at Cake Bread at first. Many of your audience probably have heard of them or at least seen the bottles on shelves and restaurants. Then I
Yeah.
worked for a few smaller wineries, and eventually I decided, you know what, I would love to keep doing what I do, and I love people, I love wine country, I love my friends in the industry, but I do want to work for myself, and that is when the idea of starting a tour company solidified, and I jumped into it, started the business, and a year later. I went into operation, and that's all I do today, for business at
That
least.
is, yeah, no, that is fabulous. And such a traveled background, like the Galapagos. I mean, a lot of people in the United States, I mean, that's a place we all dream of going. So to kind of get your start there and, working in the hospitality industry, I mean, it's just inbred in you to work with people and provide, stellar experiences.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, the Galapagos is certainly a bucket list item. So if any of your audience ever wants to know a little bit about that, feel free to reach out, and we make sure to give you great advice for that kind of like end of the world
Yeah, exactly.
location, but such a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the wine tours, tell us a little bit about how the wine tours work. You know, kind of some of your how how long they are, some of the details about the wine tours.
Of course. Well, first of all, I'm a one-man show in my business. So Zen Tours is my Cadillac Escalade, my computer, and I. um, so when guests reach out to me, I will be the one answering the phone. I will be the one answering the emails. And one of the most important parts for me is to have a conversation at first, to know where my guests are on their journey in wine. Have they been to Napa or Sonoma before? Do they have favorite wineries that they have visited before, would love to revisit, or it's just a favorite wine of their local restaurant and they want to see where all of that is made. Of course, the price is also an important factor to make sure that the guests are comfortable with tasting fees, bottle prices, and so on and so forth. So really make sure to be the person in between, or the connection between the winery and the guest, and cater to both sides. Um, for the day itself, I usually recommend doing a maximum of three wineries. Most of them are going to, well, the ones that I usually suggest are the smaller family ones that you may not find on your shelf at Total Wine or Costco, but rather the ones that, yeah, small family owned, very personalized experiences. Um, so each one of those lasts usually about an hour and a half. And again, do about three tastings in a day, a little lunch in between. And I limit it to three for the simple reason that even though it's just tastings and it's spread out throughout the day, you will be enjoying quite a bit of wine. And you and I, of course, want you to have the best experience. Make it to dinner,
Right, yeah.
um, and remember the next day the beautiful experiences that you had. I learned by my own experience and going out for tastings that everything above three experiences really becomes a blur eventually. So it's hard to remember what you like and what you love. So I always make it a point to not squeeze in as much as you can, but really enjoy the experiences. So 2 to 3 wineries plus lunch. The pickup is for the most part around 9:30 in the morning, as wineries open at 10, so we can really make the best of the day. And then usually I drop my guests back off around 5:30 in the afternoon, so they can freshen up and go to dinner.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a beautiful day. And I know
Oh
I
yeah,
was
it's so much
here.
fun.
I know going to Napa myself, I mean, there's really just the scenery, the landscapes. It's just a beautiful area of the United States. Do you have a favorite time of year that you recommend to guests to come as far as the wine, the vineyards, any of that?
Mm. Well, my perfect and favorite day of the year is always today, to visit the Napa Valley. My second favorite is tomorrow, because every day in Napa is gorgeous. I mean, right now at this time of the year, we woke up to a very thick fog layer, which kind of a little bit of a spooky vibe. And now I'm seeing out my window that the sun is starting to peek out. The vines are still dormant at this time of the year, so it's pretty quiet, and that of course also means that there is relatively little tourism at this time of the year. So the wineries will be a little more quiet, hotels will be a little cheaper and affordable, restaurant bookings will not be as complicated, and the teams at the wineries will have some extra time at their hands as well to really make sure to provide an incredible experience. Not that that is really any different at other times of the year, but it's even a little more relaxed than, let's say, in summertime, right? In a few months, we will have a bud break where the vines are starting to come back to life. In May, we have bloom. Then the tiny little grapes start coming out, and yeah, then of course the high season will kick in. So it depends a little bit on what guests are looking for. If guests really want to have that chill, relaxed winter vibe that we have right now, this is the perfect time. If they want to experience and explore crush, harvest, then the summer is, of course, great. August, September, October is when harvest happens here in Napa. And I even like to give guests like as a little secret that November is actually a perfect time, even though harvest is over. There's still a lot of work being done in the wineries, so
Oh,
you will still see the wine being made. Maybe fermentation is over, but the winemaking team will be still in full throttle. Um, and you may be able to taste a just recently fermented wine or a wine straight out of the tank that is still fermenting. And that is, of course, an experience that you would not get at any other time of the year. Um, and again, it's a little more quiet also for the winemaking team. So they may have time to chat with you a little bit and you can ask your geeky questions. So
no,
that's awesome. And
yeah,
then
that
I
sounds
see your
wonderful.
beautiful background with foliage, probably somewhere on the East Coast is my wild guess,
Yes,
or in the
absolutely.
Midwest. Yeah. Um, Here in Napa, we also have foliage. It's not September, October like you would have it up north and northeast. It is more in November. So the leaves changing from green to yellow to red to purple, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, November is definitely one of those expert secret tips for guests to come.
Yeah, I would have to agree with November because living in California a few times in November, my husband and I would head up to Napa Sonoma around Thanksgiving time. And I didn't realize how beautiful the vineyards are with the colored leaves and different colors, not, yellow, like you said, just all kinds of shades. And you don't think of like kind of fall foliage and wine connected, but yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. November's a lovely, lovely time to go to that area.
Indeed, yeah. And you look, especially when you're at a little bit of an elevated position, it's just like a patchwork blanket. It's incredible, the different colors and all of the different colors at the same time, which makes it even more special. Yeah, very similar to your background, actually. Green, yellow, red, orange, purple. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and if I recall, not to change the subject just a little bit, but Napa Sonoma had some pretty uh, destructive fires, I guess. Like, wasn't it a few years ago?
It was, yes. We had big fires in 2017 here in Napa. That was the first big one since I moved here. And then we had another big one in late 2020. Um, they were pretty rough, absolutely. And for the wildlife, nature, and also people and structures that got affected, it was it was yeah pretty devastating, honestly. However, I've been asked to summarize Napa in one word, which is borderline impossible. But the word that I came up with is resilience. Um,
Mm,
as devastating as certain events are, we had the big earthquake in 2014. We had the big fire in 2017, 2020. We had COVID where everything just shut down. And I mean, here in Napa, we live off of tourism. We live off of visitation and direct to
right.
consumer sales for the wineries. But Napa has always come back to its feet. And it just shows that with all those devastating events, we are still able to pull ourselves up and live life and just come out even better on the other side. And if you look at Napa now, if you didn't know where the fires were, you wouldn't even know that there ever was anything.
Oh,
So
good.
nature has really recovered significantly. The very few structures that, fortunately, only very few that were burned down have been rebuilt. I can think of a few right now off the top of my head. So they have pretty much being rebuilt right now or have been rebuilt. So, yes, as bad as it was, we have recovered pretty well. And yeah, since the late 2020, I mean, I knock on wood, we haven't had
Yeah.
any bigger fires.
Yeah.
Our wonderful firefighters and National Guard that were here for those fires to fight them did just an incredible job, learned a lot of lessons. And one of the reasons why it was so big is it was unprecedented. We never had anything like that before.
Right.
So they learned a lot. We during the summer season and fall season, they now have airplanes on call at all times at the Napa Airport. There's a little airport up on Howell Mountain in Angwin. There's the airport in Santa Rosa. So we really have that triangle of airports where firefighters and airplanes and helicopters can be deployed very quickly.
Yeah. And it's nice you pointed out Santa Rosa too, because I think for travelers, there's a lot of, you can fly right into Santa Rosa, which is really pretty close, and rent a car to get to the Napa area. And some of the airlines, like I don't know if Avilo's still operating out of there, but some of the smaller airlines offer some pretty good rates to get into Santa Rosa versus flying into maybe San Francisco, where people kind of, it's a little bit more busy, you got more traffic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that kind of.
That's actually. Thank you for bringing that topic up. Yeah, I definitely have a favorite list of airports in the area, and you can imagine which one is the one on the bottom, San Francisco, SFO.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I fly a lot well, for leisure and business. So SFO is often the only choice. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad airport, but the drive to get there and to come back is can be a hassle, especially during rush hour.
Oh yeah.
It can take you 2.5, 3 hours for that drive. On a Friday morning, it has taken us, yeah, 3 hours from Napa. And so it can happen. Usual time is about an hour and a half, but you always have to drive through San Francisco. Never know what's going on there.
Yep.
So of the bigger airports, my recommendation is always Sacramento, if
Oh,
that is
okay.
a possibility. The distance is in miles, I believe, is a little longer than SFO, but you do not have to drive through any city. So there's a road that goes around Sacramento from the airport, and you pretty much just hit the freeway right away and come straight to wine country. Um,
Oh.
so that is my recommendation, especially for folks that are coming from a little further away. Santa Rosa is awesome for people that come here, usually from the West Coast. Uh, because you have Alaska and United with a few flights coming in there, and yeah, a few smaller airlines as well. And the drive is great. I mean, first of all, you can pretty much hop out the airport, and in 15 minutes you can be at your first winery if you like.
Yeah.
You can stay up in the Healdsburg area, which is gorgeous, or just come over to Napa, staying up in Calistoga, which is, I would say, about a half-hour drive from Santa Rosa Airport, so super convenient. And then the newest addition, at least for the summertime, I believe they fly from April to November. If you come from Orange County, the Napa Airport, which
Oh.
is about 20 minutes from downtown Napa, is now offering or hosting JSX, Jet Suite X, which is it's a little pricier than let's say United, um, but you skip TSA, which is awesome. So it's a semi-private air part of the airport. So you pretty much drive up, park your car, step right into the plane without any hassle. And the seats are all business class style, so super comfortable, small planes, incredible service, and
Wow.
they fly from Orange County directly into the Napa airport again, which is super, super close, super convenient. So highly recommend looking into that.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's a great tip for people, especially if they are in Orange County and want to get away for a weekend, do something different.
Yeah,
That's excellent. But those
that's
are
it's
really
gonna.
good recommendations. So as far as the restaurant scene, and I know I didn't ask ahead of time, but I'm sure since you live there, the restaurant scene in Napa, I mean, it's world class. I mean, we often hear about these celebrity chefs, but there's also new and upcoming, places popping up, I'm sure, all the time. And it's been some
Mhm.
time since I've been up there. Do you have a few little tips you can share about eating in Napa?
Yeah. What happens that my wife and I love food. So, so we love to explore and yeah, find new spots and also have some favorite staples. And of course, you have the French Laundry in Yountville, 3 Michelin stars, Thomas Keller. I mean, he is just one of those guys who doesn't need an introduction, right?
Right.
If you are in the Santa Rosa area, there is a single thread up there in Healdsburg, which is also 3 Michelin. Then a relatively new restaurant that reopened near the Sonoma Square. I'm blank. Oh, Enclos, Enclos. They recently reopened. They are part of Stone Edge Farms, who also have a winery
Oh, wow.
literally on the edge between Napa and Sonoma, all the way on the top of the mountains in the middle of the forest. Gorgeous location. They have a
Wow.
huge farm as well in Sonoma, and so they source all their ingredients from that farm. And yeah, recently reopened Enclos. It's borderline impossible to get into. They got 2 Michelin stars. They are a novelty. I have not made it yet, but the people, friends that have are raving about it. So it's very, very, very high on my list. And Kat and I, my wife and I, already said, okay, well, you know what? Once we're back from our travels, which is now, we will look into any date and just go for it and book it because I love to give recommendations to my guests. That's kind of like my excuse.
Yeah, exactly right.
All
I
R&D,
guess
right?
right, exactly. I'm there with you on things like that. It's like, well, I have to be able to tell people I work with where to
Right.
go.
So that on the really super fancy Michelin startup high end. But then here in downtown Napa, I mean, we love Iron Chef Morimoto's restaurant. He has two locations in Napa, Morimoto Asia, which is kind of like a an Asian fusion of the different like specialties from different Asian countries. Our personal favorite is the Morimoto, the original one, which is focused on incredibly high-end sushi and Japanese food. Absolutely outstanding, hands down. My favorite Japanese restaurant, sushi restaurant here in Napa. However, Amami is absolutely fabulous as well. Um, it's Morimoto is quite pricey. I mean, I guess it comes with the name. Amami is a little more affordable, but their quality of fish and ingredients is outstanding as well. And then there are a few other things popping up. There's a small place called Feast It Forward by the Oxbow Market, and the owner of Feast It Forward is opening a kind of like it's not a pop-up really. It's inside the Oxbow Market. There's a restaurant there. It used to be the uh, Red Door or something like that.
Oh,
I
that
forgot
sounds
the name of
yeah.
it. Anyhow,
Yeah.
so there was a kitchen door in the Oxbow Market. So that closed. And Sea Casa, which was a Mexican restaurant, moved in there. They are out now. So she took over that space and is doing a guest chef experience. So she invites guest chefs that stay there for a month.
Oh, wow.
So they develop a special menu, stay there for a month, create a concept for that month, and then the chefs move on or back to their own restaurants, and a new chef comes in. So I'm really excited about that concept, and I really look forward to learning more about it and experience it myself.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
really interesting because that way too, if people like to come to Napa and she's got a certain guest chef, I mean that really might make, a destination. I wonder if she's
oh,
going to have
totally.
to do reservations for these experiences. That'll be
Oh, for
interesting.
sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you want to, if there are places, another good topic to touch. If you want to come here to Napa and you have specific places that you want to see, wineries and restaurants alike, make sure to either make reservations yourself or talk to someone like myself to set all those things up for you. Because I mean that's of course a full service, the full service part that I provide with Zen Wine Tours. And yeah, you want to make sure if you're already traveling here, and let's be honest, spend a good chunk of money.
yes,
You want to make
yeah.
sure that you really get your experience and do not leave it up to chance, unless you just want to come here and just wander around and drop in a few places where you happen to be able to. Which, by the way, is of course a lot easier at this time of the year than it would be in summer. September, October, make reservations. Ideally, if you can, 2, 3 months in advance, as soon as reservations open, go for it. Talk to someone like you, April, or myself, and make these things happen. And make sure to set everything up front.
Yeah,
At
I
least
agree.
there's
Right.
parts that you really want, right?
Right,
You can
right.
keep it flexible. It's not that, oh yeah, no, you have like a cruise ship itinerary. This is exactly what has to happen, but make sure to have 1 or 2 days set up, right? And then leave yourself a day or two for spa experiences. Just relax, wander downtown. Um, Maybe drive to the coast. The Sonoma coast is so stunning. Near Occidental, there's this incredible spa called Osmosis.
Oh,
They have the
wow.
cedar bath, which is kind of like these mud bath experiences that you have in Calistoga, just with like fermenting cedar
Oh,
wood chips.
wow.
Super weird. Never heard of it. I
Yeah, I've
was a
never
little
heard
bit
of
on the
that.
fence, a little bit on the fence before we did it, but it is ultimately very relaxing. They have a Japanese garden there.
Oh,
It's
wow.
really a stunning experience. And then you have Armstrong State Park with the giant redwoods right there in near Occidental. You have Bodega Bay, and one of those another secret tip is where the river meets the ocean up north. It's the restaurant is called River's End. Um, Go there for a sunset dinner. If you are on a romantic trip, go there, do this, yeah, book your table for half an hour before sunset. It is absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to stay there, they even have, I think it's like 10 cottages, a few of them right on River's End. And yeah, very, very relaxing, super enjoyable. We go there on every so often, at least a couple of times a year for sure.
Oh, wow. That is an amazing tip. That's a great thing to share. Yeah, I always highly recommend to travelers to work with someone just, and so many of us that do help people put travel together, um, it's totally worth it. And, even just to have a quick consultation call or, have someone do the bare minimum of suggesting places to stay, it is totally worth it. I mean, unless you want to spend the hours diving into the internet. I mean, I always say the information is out there, but oftentimes the smaller mom and pop local businesses, they don't have the same advertising budget. So you're not always going to
Correct.
find those without talking to you, Jan, or me for
Yeah.
New England. It's just that's how it is.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah,
far is the
totally. No.
coast then from Napa? How far does it take to drive there?
So from the city of Napa, it depends on the time of the day, of course. But I would say about an hour and a half from where
Oh,
I
that's
am
not
at.
bad. Yeah.
So it's not too far away. Yeah, that takes you to Bodega Bay. There are some gorgeous hikes. There are some beaches that you can just stroll up and down. Several of those beaches are also very dog friendly, where you can let your dog off leash. And of course, you have fresh oysters, fresh seafood. Right now, it's Dungeness crab season, so look out for those. There are a couple of really great spots for clam chowder, which is of course a thing here. I know not New. What is it? Hold on. New England is the red chowder, or is it the white chowder?
Well, they have both. They have both. Like in Boston, you have
Yeah.
like the red chowder, and then further up the coast, like Maine, you get more of the white chowder. So yeah, they kind of have
Yeah.
both too.
So that's the white chowder is the one that is kind of like the specialty here on the West Coast. Uh-huh. And yeah, Dungeness crab right now. Gosh, oysters, grilled oysters. I have a couple of like shacks, hole in the walls that, as you said, I mean, they probably don't have any marketing budget,
No.
but we know of them. We know of them, so we can definitely steer you and your guests that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And with we're heading right into like Valentine's season. Do you have places that you help recommend people, couples to stay at when they come to the area?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm more than happy to assist with lodging. Again, wineries, restaurants, all of that. So really get that complete package taken care of, and the more than happy to give recommendations. Always depending on what the guests are looking for, right? Do you want let's say, are you with Hyatt or Marriott? Then there are Hyatt and Marriott properties. Do you prefer staying at a more romantic bed and breakfast? There are those with delicious breakfast. I mean, as the name
Oh
says,
yeah. Yeah.
it's delicious breakfast included and more of a romantic experience. And of course, yes, there are specialty dinners during that time of the year as well for that day. But as always, and especially Valentine's Day, if you want to go out that evening, let's make sure to get you on the books quickly because that's the day that also the locals will all be
Right.
going out and searching for
Exactly.
reservations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always advise people, especially if they want to come to, any area, whatever destination, find out what the high season is, and if that's when you feel like you want to be there too, that's great, but you got to plan further ahead. Whereas if you pick
Yeah.
like off season, which I guess off season in Napa would probably be kind of winter time, probably about right now, I would imagine, kind of quiet
Yep,
season.
yep, yep. I would say November to May kind of is rather the off-ish season. While there are, of course, some big events like Bottle Rock, which is coming up with some super high-end artists. I mean, we've had, oh gosh, what did we have? We had Pearl Jam, we had Snoop Dogg. We this year there is who's coming? Lord is coming. The Backstreet Boys are coming.
Oh my goodness.
So and it's a 3 day festival here in Napa, and of course that's when it gets super busy. I believe it's oh, which holiday is end of May? I always get confused with all the holidays that we
Oh,
have here in the U.S.
I think it's Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. That's right. Yeah, Labor Day is later in the year. Yes, Memorial Day weekend. That's always the Bottle Rock weekend. Uh, so be aware of looking into that as well. If you want to visit Bottle Rock, come and enjoy. If you're not here for Bottle Rock, well, stay a little further up north. Here in Napa, the hotels are going to be outrageously
Oh
expensive
yeah.
because it's right here at the fairgrounds, about 10 minutes from my house. Um, but if you stay further up north in Calistoga, Santa Rosa, uh, the wineries will be relatively empty because the people that are coming for that event will be going to that event and not visiting the winery. So it may actually be a pretty good time to, even though it's counterintuitive, a good time to come to Napa and also snack up really good reservations at
Oh.
restaurants and wineries that you may not be able to get into otherwise or in other times.
That's a good tip right there, right? Kind of that reverse psychology. They're all at the concert enjoying all the
Yeah,
music and all that. Meanwhile, to stay a
exactly.
little further out where the rooms are cheaper and just again, plan ahead. I would highly always recommend planning ahead. What
Yeah,
have been some of
definitely.
your best guest experiences, you would say?
My best guests or the best wineries where we had experiences?
Either one.
Uh, well, I mean, my best guest experiences are always the guests that are curious, the guests that ask questions, the guests that are, yeah, just bringing that certain sense of innocence with them of, well, let's just learn and let's explore and let's get educated about what wine is all about and understand
Oh,
that it's so much more than a label that you find on the shelf in your local store, but that there are people behind it, that there's a lot of work behind it, and folks that are legitimately interested in that and are not afraid to taste things that they may not have had before, you know,
yes, yeah.
or just see, yeah, what is out there. Really come with an open mind. And I mean, one of the greatest satisfactions, selfishly for me, is when I can live vicariously through the eyes of my guests. When
Yes.
I see my guests' eyes lighten up because I share a story with them, or a host at the winery shares a story with them on how certain things are or certain things work. And then just those light bulbs that go up, and it reminds me when I learned those things originally. It and that I get bored very easily with monotony, and
Yes.
being able to share these stories and traveling through the valley and again sharing this with the guests and seeing their excitement about it, that gets me excited. So I very much appreciate my guests for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. That sense of curiosity and that sense of them experiencing something for the first time, like you said, because
yeah,
wine is just, some people get it in their head that they only like red wines, but yet there's plenty of other wines that they may not have experienced that given a chance, they're like, wow, I never would have thought of trying this.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. No,
So if a
and
couple,
learn. Yeah, please.
oh, I was just going to say, if a couple has someone that's not a wine drinker, are the wineries providing some alternate things for that? How do you address that a little bit?
Mm. Well, there are a few wineries that offer like grape juice and certain things like that. I would say, though, I mean, the wineries are certainly focused on the wine and on the experience. However, if you're a non-taster, you can always join along. Most wineries, especially the partners that I have, will not charge any fees for that. The larger ones will because they pretty much charge by seat, you could say.
Right, right.
Um, but the smaller wineries, they will be excited to host non-drinkers, non-tasters as well, and allowed to join in for the tour. And even though they're not partaking in the tasting part, there may be a little cheese charcuterie. If the winery doesn't have any non-alcoholic drinks, I always have that on board. I always have Fiji water, Perrier, so still in sparkling. And of course, if I have a non-taster, I will make sure to have other non-alcoholic alternatives with me. Um, there are a few places that are now getting into like sparkling tea. I heard of I just learned actually about it a few days ago, about Susurros,
Oh,
Susurros, I believe.
oh
0%
wow.
alcohol, not de-alcoholized. It's a sparkling teas that they make. I can't wait to taste them. I'm just in touch with the owner now. So that people do not have to do, let's say, the three tastings and full wine focus in a day. I mean, if people just don't care for wine but love beer, there are a couple of breweries around that we can work with. There are a couple of distilleries around that where we can. They offer tastings as well and tours and explanations. And then, of course, you have things like the balloon ride,
Oh, that's neat.
um, where you can yeah, look at the valley from above. You have wineries like Donham Estate, which is all about outdoor art. I believe it's don't quote me on this, but I believe it's the largest collection of outdoor art in the country.
Yeah, I'll have to
I,
check.
I
It may be
I
pretty
believe
big.
so. Yeah,
I kind of
it's
recently heard about it myself.
yeah, it's very, very, very impressive. The art, even already the drive into the property, you have this giant 3D head that is, I think, from a Spanish artist that welcomes you right there, and it's like that wow factor already. And Donham is, well, they are, of course, also focused on wine. They do offer tours that are a combination of the art and the wine. And there are also tours that are specifically focused on the art
Oh
itself.
wow.
So that way, yeah, guests would have opportunity to get a little bit more insights on that without the quote unquote necessity of indulging in the beautiful wines that we have here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there are options. There are wineries that offer like ATV that take you on an ATV tour through the vineyards and all of that. So yeah, we can do a lot of things. Oh, and of course, golf. Golf is a thing, right? There are quite a bit of driving ranges in Yountville. They have I believe it's a 9-hole golf course that they have in Yountville. Then there is the Silverado Country Club where the what is it? PGA?
PGA,
PGA
yeah.
Tour?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not
Oh,
a golfer.
I'm not a
I'm
golfer
getting into.
either. But the ATV,
I've tried.
I didn't know anyone was offering ATV tours through the vines and vineyards. That's new.
Well, it's not self-driving. A host will be driving you.
Oh, good.
uh, but but yes, there is. I think of the terraces. I think of Aonair. I think of the Vineyardist. All of those have these gorgeous properties
Oh,
with
yeah.
vista points, and yeah, they like to take you up there, and usually with a splash of wine in hand, of course.
Yeah. Oh, that's an experience. That's unique. Wow.
Oh, and then, of course, last but not least, you have up in Calistoga, you have the natural hot springs, you have the mud baths, you have the massages, you have the hot natural mineral pools. Um, so days of relaxation should also be make a little part of the program of your visit.
Yeah. Have you been up to the Calistoga mud baths and stuff? Because that's actually something I've never done.
I have not done the mud baths. We do a little staycation every once in a while at Dr. Wilkinson's,
Okay.
which is a small. It's kind of like it looks like it used to be like a motor lodge.
Yeah.
They do have yeah, I don't even know how many rooms, but they have rooms there. If you book it, another secret tip, book the pool villas, the villas that are be or the rooms that are behind the pool. The hotel rooms are all nice, but quite simple. These special rooms behind the pool are a little more secluded, a little more private, a little bigger, and have some really nice amenities in it. And they have different pools with different temperatures. They
Oh,
have an amazing spa. We've gotten massages there. Last time that we went was in 2020. There, the massages were available, but that was a time where the mud baths were, I think, in remodeling. So
yeah,
they
you're
do it
right.
there. They do
Yeah.
it at Indian Springs. So I haven't done the mud baths yet. The closest to that would be the cedar bath that I did in Occidental at the Osmosis Spa.
Yeah, which sounds interesting too, really unique, just something different. And, sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta, throw away your idea of what it might be and just go and try something new.
Totally. Just go and dare, right?
Right, right, exactly, exactly. Because it seems like a lot of times in couples, there's always one person that does all the planning, and the other person's always hopefully, yeah, whatever you plan, I'll do it. So, that's one of
Tagging
the,
along, or it's going to be a surprise. One partner wants to do something for the other one for a birthday or an
yeah,
anniversary. It happens quite a bit.
yeah, exactly. So, Jan, this has been super informative. You've really shed a light on so many unique aspects and things to do in Napa. How can people reach out to you? What's your website? What's the best way for people to connect and have you plan their next Napa experience?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me to this and to chatting with me and the curiosity about all things Napa Sonoma. So really appreciate that. To reach me, you can either well, you can find, of course, my website zenwinetours.com. I also recommend having a look at my Google reviews. I am right now, I believe, at 111 five-star reviews, all of them earned. So every single one of those I personally toured and made sure that they have a great experience. I'm super thrilled and thankful for that. So have a look at that. And yeah, there's, of course, there's a little contact form on the website. There's also my phone number on there. My email address, quite simple, Jan, Jan, at zenwinetours.com. Phone number 650-438-9579. And of course, you can also reach me over social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just find me, find my name, or find Zen Wine Tours, and I will make sure to get back to you timely. And I'm excited to plan an awesome experience, an awesome Zen experience for you all out there. And if you only have a question, you're not ready to book yet. If you only have questions about wine country, about anything wine related or non wine related, if you just want to solve the problems of the world over a glass of wine, give me a ring, shoot me a text, and I will make sure to give you advice.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Jan.
Appreciate you, Alpro. Thank you, and see you all in Napa very soon. Cheers.